It's time for the news.
Another UFO sighting has taken place.
The leather's made out of cardboard.
The number you have dialed is in an alternate dimension.
Welcome back to Weird Week. It is Monday. Another weird Monday. I had a weird weekend. How was yours, DK?
My weekends are always weird. Why do you even ask?
I mean, you got to, right? You got to at least touch base and make sure that the things are weird, or else we're not doing the right things because it's the weird week. That's what we aim to do around here.
The prophecy has been fulfilled. Everything is weird.
Again, yep, always fulfilling the prophecies, the weird prophecies. Nah, it was just it was weird because we got a lot of weird goings on in the world. We'll touch on them. We'll start. We'll start right now. Let's just kick things off. First things first, and I'm gonna let you know ahead of time here, people, that we are trying to roll out new things all the time. We're updating our formats. We want to maybe have extra guests or more people added in at some point, so that might happen soon. And format change might happen soon in terms of just like trying to make sure we speak on subjects in their fullest and cover all of the things that we want. And just basically, we want to make sure you guys have good conversation to listen to, and we don't want to necessarily feel like we're rushing through anything on a episode by episode basis. So we're trying to just make it as listenable as possible. To start, we're going to touch on something that is very strange, but also not so strange. Let's just it is the new Apple gadget, the Apple Vision Pro, that has been announced. So we've seen now some commercial spots and things of what look like a VR headset almost, but they're like Google Glasses VR headset version thing. The way of the future, So what I find intriguing about it is it feels very much like kind of like the release of the iPhone, where it has a lot of skepticism surrounding it, and people kind of like, what is this thing? Oh, it's like exciting, but also super weird. And like, should we be excited? And like, at the end of the day, everybody's going to have a pair of these on their face. And there's a huge chance that some sort of dystopian future puts us all
inside a VR headset. That's the future. That'd be fucking weird.
It's that thing, right, where we all have. It's like, what was the episode? It was not an episode. It was SpongeBob. I'm sure other movies and stuff did this, but the one I can immediately reference is the SpongeBob movie, where like Plankton is giving out all these chum bucket hats, and everybody thinks the chum bucket hat is super cool, and they're all wearing the chum bucket hat, and then like they all end up being brainwashing devices. It's like these things, man, when they're all literally strapped to our heads, it's gonna be bad. Like, it is a brainwashing device, period. There are already brainwashing devices in our hands. To be strapped to our heads, like they're literally gonna be like zombies,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does come with a hefty price. It's $3,500. I mean,
yeah,
so pretty penny.
It's a hefty price for now. It's I mean, when the iPhone came out, they were getting stolen left and right because nobody had them. You were seen as this like, if you had an iPhone, you were one of the kind of like wealthy people getting like the wealthier technologies and stuff, very much like what this would be. But at the end of the day, right now, literally anybody has an iPhone in their hands almost.
One thing I will say about this is, you said it, like everybody, like most people have like iPhones. And this is, I think, going to be a testament to Apple's branding, because like Meta tried to do it, like PlayStation has their own VR headset. I think like PC, there's another version of it. Like if Apple could push this VR movement forward, I think it's XR. It's like it mixes like real reality with augmented reality or something like that. That's what Apple's Vision Pro does. But man, if they can push this thing forward, I mean that goes to like Apple's branding.
Yeah, the Vision Pro, it looks like they're trying to do like the Google Glass, but on a actual
gigantic one.
Yeah, because the Google Glass was such a tiny little thing. This is on like a full VR type of a headset, but not going to do exactly VR capabilities like you had said. It's going to do different types of things. It's going to be more like a phone in your eyes. I mean, dude, literally Futurama did this episode. In one of the episodes, it's not necessarily one of the greater episodes because it's in the later seasons. They literally had the iPhone, EYE phone, and it's the phone strapped to your freaking face, and they're like, it's so much more convenient now, and they're all walking around with like Apple's Vision Pro strapped to their heads, and that episode did a great job of like pointing out the funny stuff that could happen with people doing that. There's something they did in that episode which I could see becoming a reality with these is if it does become like very popular to wear these kinds of things, people start to have like their entire lives like body cammed. It's weird. It's like you could do the Truman Show. You could stream your life 24/7 from your goggles and everything that you're doing and stuff. And the social media kind of world will be just so much crazier. Being able to kind of like POV everybody's eyesight. Like that's gonna be nuts.
This is gonna be cool, I think. I mean, I don't want to wear it on my head, but the idea of mixing like reality with some image and having something 3D pop out where it seems super real, I think it's gonna be. I mean, it sounds cool.
It sounds awesome. I want it to do the thing. I want it to do the thing that like Iron Man does with his like random digital screens that are like just floating in front of him and stuff, and he's just touching fake like little knobs and shit like that. I want that to happen. But at the end of the day, it's hard to tell whether or not it's going to be like beneficial to mankind on the whole, or if it's going to totally screw us all. It's just one of those things that is so big that like if it gets really big, who knows what the fuck it's capable of. It's a little scary. And I think what I was going to say is just that it's I think the thing that's scariest for all of us is it being strapped to your face.
Yeah.
If it wasn't just like one, bam.
Yeah. Well, this one, I am going to say I am skeptical about this one. I didn't have the first iPhone. I think I jumped all the way to I think I had my first iPhone at like 5. But I was, when the first iPhone came out and then they did that little slide and then the apps popped up on the screen, I was blown away. I think that was the coolest thing ever. This one is a little different. I'm not sure how open people are to having something. They didn't even, because it's interesting because they didn't give the specs for this yet, so we even know how much this thing weighs. So I don't know like if how open people are to have this thing strapped to their face. I'm not sure. Do you know if it's supposed to be something that you're supposed to like walk around with, or is it something like a VR
no,
headset?
I don't.
Like
I don't know yet.
Because I mean, if you're supposed, I mean, I don't know, like the thing with the VR, I mean, it's cool, I'll give it that, but I don't. It might. I'm still skeptical about it, but it might take on like the iPhone because you just need to figure out what apps can be used on it, and once that one other thing hits, then those things paired together might help Apple Vision Pro. But as of now, I don't see
a
reason for this thing.
It's like this
Even
is also the kind
yeah.
of thing that could put like VR in everybody's pockets, where
Yeah.
like it's still very selective who does VR, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This could be the perfect transition for people that are just like very heavy cell phone users and not as much like gamers and whatnot
Yeah.
to like transition into that VR world. I'm with you. I don't know how well polished the first one would be, and that's why they are $3,500, and the richest of the rich are the ones that get to go and play with it because they have that kind of money to blow. And if it's a piece of shit product or it's like breaks easily or anything like that, you know, they're the ones with the money to be able to kind of like experiment with it and be the guinea pigs. And then once there's more confirmation that everybody's really, really into the things, they'll start to try to roll out cheaper ones and stuff like cell phones, I'm sure, if all goes according to plan.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy,
who
though.
knows? Yeah. I remember when DVD players used to be like $800, $900 when they came out. Now I think you can find one. It's probably like $50 and you find it at a garage sale or something.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to even find Blu-ray players at this point because everybody's streaming and using digital platforms it's like, why do I need a Blu-ray player when my TV just has everything integrated in it and I can just like click a button and I don't need to go and insert a disc or anything like that. So it's like it just keeps getting further and further away. Everything's more and more digital. The digital realm. We're trying to digitalize our vision. We want to be digital beings.
I want to have robot arms one day. That'd be sick.
Man, to be a robot, to be a cyborg. There's a little robot, a cute little robot, who's about to be conducting an orchestra for the first time in South Korea. What a little stud. They made him look cute, man. They made him look like he's just like this little kid that's just like so stoked to be.
It's kind of freaky. He knows where the camera is, like he's taking a selfie.
Yeah, those eyes are like straight up looking at the camera.
It's really freaky. It's almost like he has a conscience or something. But it is the robot you're mentioning. It's called Ever 6 or Eve R6. I don't know how you would pronounce it, but it's spelled like Ever, but they capitalize the R at the end. So I'm not sure if it's Eve R6 or Ever 6.
I see.
But it's
well, Eve R6, Eve R6. Yeah, it looks like it's pronounced Eve R6. Is going to be conducting an orchestra. That's so cool. I mean, robots are robots. So it can't be that difficult. Not saying that it's not easy to be a conductor, but it can't be that difficult because basically the robot just has to be on time with his hand movements in terms of orchestrating, like conducting an orchestra. He just has to make sure that his arm is timed appropriately with the things that he's trying to cue people on. But it's like it's all just a timing based thing. So not too much.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if if he's just programmed to carry out certain certain tempos and stuff like that, other than a lot like human conductors will see what's happening and he'll kind of notice mistakes and he'll probably cue the percussions or stuff like that. Like he'll kind of cue different things, and I'm not sure if it's just time, but it'd be interesting to see how this works out. Apparently this isn't the first one, but it's apparently since AI has gotten so crazy, we have to kind of now realize observe how well this robot does things.
Right. The potential is now much more great.
Yeah.
So I may have been a little wrong here because it's not strictly the timing. Like you had said, it's got to kind of react in real time and whatnot also. And so what here, I don't know if this is one of the people that helped make the robot, Choi Soyol, but they said the most challenging aspect for robots is real-time interaction and communication, particularly in the context of music. And so for a robot to be able to do this is going to be a really big feat in the robotics, AI, future world. So, but he's just scheduled to do it. We don't have any results on how it may have gone or not yet. So
Yeah.
TBD, to be determined. We will find out how well this little guy does. But I mean, he looks like a 6-year-old. They made this kid look, he looks like a bright, happy little, weird little robot kid.
A little robot going through puberty.
I love it. Yeah, right. He's just that age where he's about, he hasn't started to act up yet. He still has like innocence in his face and whatnot.
Yeah.
Once that once he has like one really bad orchestral set, it'll really start to affect him. He'll start to, reflect on his life. He'll start to become depressed. He'll start to learn,
at the age of 6,
like to be a human.
At a bar, stumped over a bar, taking a shot.
Next thing,
I just had my first bad set.
He awakens. He comes to and realizes he's a robot. He starts looking around. Oh shit, this is crazy. Just saying. That's how this is how it starts, right? I mean, that's what humans do. We literally from at like age 5, 6, 7, like have like a coming to experience where like, oh shit, life's more than just like sucking on boobs and
well,
playing.
To be fair, there's nothing better than life than sucking on boobs. So.
But there's more to life than sucking on boobs. There's nothing better, but there's more to life. While we're, this is a very futuristic robotics AI filled episode, we're going to move on to another robo friend of ours. A robot pizza startup got shut down after their cheese kept sliding off. DK, what's with the sliding cheese ordeal?
So it's a mobile. I mean, this company has been. It's a delivery startup. It raised like $500 million. It had many setbacks. They're saying that it's because of the pandemic, and a lot of businesses kind of went under, and they had funding issues, and that's where their business finally caved in. But there's also another thing that wasn't mentioned is the cheese. They couldn't have all the equations and algorithms they solved. They couldn't figure out the cheese algorithm to have the cheese stay on the pizza while it's moving. So
I don't understand to an extent. It just seems like something that would be such a simple thing to figure out at the end of the day. Yeah. Like cheese does stick. When it melts, that's what cheese does, is like it sticks. So like, I guess, so what the thing is moving constantly, basically. Like, so when it's moving to its location, it's making the pizza on the way.
Yeah,
for like honest, efficiency purposes or something.
I don't know. I don't know when the process is while it's mobile, but apparently it's like it's having trouble keeping cheese on. I don't know. I guess, like you said, I would think that's a minor fix, you would believe, but I don't know. I've never seen a mobile robot pizza chef, so I don't know how this does pizza. If I saw it at work, I'd been like, okay, there's your problem right there. Right, you're doing it upside down. Yeah, build your cheese on top. I don't know, but it's just there's definitely of all the cool things that robots do. It's just you'd think that like it'd be like cooler issues, but it's other than cheese falling off, like I don't know, fireballs are exploding out of the thing, or I don't know, something cooler than just a simple issue of cheese falling off the pizza.
Well, what sucks most about it is that it like shut down the company. Like the company got shut down because they could not figure out how to get that cheese to stay on. That's pretty sad, man. You guys let the whole thing go under because you couldn't figure it out. And it's like,
The cheese equation gets them all the time.
The company struggled to physically keep melting cheese from sliding off pies that were being baked in its moving trucks. So it's moving at the same time that it's cooking. And I don't know if it's like if it's stopping too hard, then ease up on its brake tension or whatever, like make it brake easier. If it's like bouncing around too much and whatnot, like you guys should have had a more stable like gyro system in place for your pizza maker. Like it should have been like a gyro system or whatever, where those things are like perfectly balanced no matter how they're hit, knocked, or whatever. And it's like, clearly you guys didn't implement the right stuff. You just created like a shaking hot box that has melting hot cheese in it, and it's just going to throw the melting hot cheese everywhere.
Well, I don't know. I honestly, I would have to figure out, like, I would have to go through their analytics and reports to see what happened. But it's, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of a issue I wouldn't think that would happen, but apparently cheese does fall off pizza.
I mean, when you think about pizza at like just the right moment, there's the cheese is gonna slide off. There's a moment where like the cheese is just melted enough, but not like sticking to the ingredients below it, that it's like a slosh on top, and you have to like let it chill and sit in that heat for a minute to like really start to kind of encrust itself and whatnot. But like when it's at that perfect melted point where it's just essentially like a cheesy soup, I can see why it would be hard for them to. But it's like, what did you expect? I don't know. You created a moving pizza robot. There's going to be complications. I think, good job for trying. It's probably not the last time something like that will be tried to be made. But like right now, it looks like the things that are having success in this field are like pizza vending machines that are, stationary. They stop, they're in one spot, and it's still quick service and stuff like that, but it don't have the complications of a moving kitchen.
Have you ever had vending machine pizza? I'm curious to try one. I want to try one so badly. I do want to try one.
I've seen reviews by people. They looked like they kind of enjoyed it. The way that they critiqued it was interesting, because it was kind of how I would want you to critique things, in the sense that they were like, oh, the firmness, oh, the like texture, this, that, and the other. They didn't just like, it's a good pizza. But yeah, like they were just shocked at the quality of it. And I find that to be the case with most places, or most of like the food vending machines that are coming out nowadays, is like people are almost always thoroughly shocked at the quality. They're almost always like, okay, well, it's not a chef making it, but if I have to eat a pizza out of a vending machine, it's fucking really good for a vending machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure like there are pizza chefs out there that do it better, but I mean, we have to count that as a factor. Being like, this is coming from a vending machine. I remember when there's stale chips and expired chocolate in vending machines. Now we can get full pizzas out of it.
Yeah.
What world we live in?
So we were talking a lot about cell phones earlier because of the Apple Vision Pro and the influence that it had with the iPhone. Just going to touch on one more little cell phone subject here, because it's just a little ridiculous. Secret Service agents didn't see an intruder get into a Biden official's home because they were distracted on their cell phones.
Yep.
Come on. I mean, we know these things are addicting. We had the conversation earlier about how addicting they can be and how big they blew up because of how addicting they are and things like that. But my God, guys, you're Secret Service agents. Like I'm told not to be on my phone at a restaurant job. Are you joking? You're a Secret Service agent, and somebody's got to be like, "Hey, man, get off your phone. Someone just walked in the door." Like, I mean, come on, people.
Yeah. So this happened in an ironic twist of the story. A national security advisor's house His name is Jake Sullivan. So apparently, an intoxicated man broke into his home. No one was hurt, first and foremost, which is most important. But he later found that man intoxicated. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And he later found out that the people that's supposed to stand guard were on their phones. The national security advisor.
On my phone.
Oh, the irony.
It's so
the irony.
What's up with people sneaking into other people's homes in the middle of the night? We just went over this freaking last week with the kids in the ladies' home. I didn't watch that video, by the way. I just finally saw that video and didn't realize that there was like 30 children in her home.
Yeah.
I thought she had like a senior prank with like 2 or 3 kids in her home. She had her entire senior class sleeping in her freaking home.
Which is an adorable story in a cute, cynical way.
Podunk town. Yeah, in a little cute podunk town. 30 kids sleeping in their freaking... It's cuter knowing that it was that big of a group because you can like... You hopefully know there's no bad intent with 30 kids sleeping in their freaking teachers.
Well, to be fair, that was just one teacher who, I don't know what her security measures are, but I'm doubting she's paying Secret Service agents to guard her door.
Right. Yes. And then back onto this subject. It's just like Secret Service. Come on. It's worse. It's so much worse than we can imagine. Secret Service is stuck on their phones. Like, Again, I'm told at every job I work at to not be on my phone, and I'm doing the most menial bullshit, stupid stuff. For you to be like one of the security officers of our national security chief or whatever, like, and you're stuck on your phone and you let people get through the cracks. It's just like, hey, man. You can imagine it's a boring gig. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was like, hey, man, you got to be level 45 Candy Crush.
Yeah, right.
Nothing else matters.
Can I come through here? Are you level 45 on Candy Crush? Yes. Okay, I guess you can.
He's going after the president. Wait up after I get these candies first.
Wait, but what level is he on Candy Crush? Well, he's definitely higher level than you. All right, well, I guess I got to let him go after the president.
Oh, man.
Respect the Candy Crush elite.
Oh, man. This is, it's wow. I mean, sorry I interrupted you.
No, well, I was just going to say, you have to imagine it is kind of a boring job, especially with how much security that is there. You would imagine almost nobody is trying to drunkenly get through, you know?
Yeah, true.
So you would assume the guys on duty are obviously just bored and distracting themselves in some way. It just brings to question, like, I mean, you know, what are you actually supposed to be doing as security, if nothing else, but paying attention to your surroundings and trying to stop intruders? Even if it's a boring job, that is part of the job, is to like be bored and make sure nothing's happening on your board watch.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you make a great point there because, like, I get it. Like, especially, like, if you're distracted for a moment, I think that's when things can go south really bad. I don't know to be honest, who Jake Sullivan is, but he does sound someone of importance, and you do want to make sure nothing's happening. No one's breaking into his premise or his home. So, I mean, it's way different from, like, a Starbucks person like messing up, because at the end of the day, like if he or she messes up on my drink, like, okay, I'll just ask them like, hey, this is not my drink, and they'll fix it. And it's like a 5-minute wait or something like that. Right. And it's just like, it's a mild inconvenience at best. But when these people like are distracted, their mistakes is very costly, because that could have spilled some danger to his family if that person wasn't just intoxicated or had bad intentions. That could have been really bad. They're
royally lucky that it was just like a whoopsie daisy type situation, you know. It could have been so much worse, and that's where it's like, guys, like, I mean, people take away employees' cell phones so they can't be on their phone while they're on the job. Take them away if they have to. Like, give them security only phones where they don't get to have fun apps on them or be able to text people and stuff, except for serious business shit. I don't know what needs to be done, but that's just a joke. And on that note, let's get out of here.
Exactly. Security robots. We need security robots. That's the next frontier.
That is, I mean, I've seen them. I've seen the policing robots and stuff. There's articles and videos and stuff about them. Who knows how good they are? They can. I'm sure they can only do so much. They're just what even are they? Till next time, guys. Appreciate you. Keep on tuning in, sending us your money. Like, subscribe, follow. Tell your friends and families. We love you. Peace.